Hi, it's Dwyer. It is week 3 of the NFL. Today is September 17th, 2025. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, folks, I'm an early bettor. I know what I like. When I see a line that I think meets my criteria, I try to jump on it. I'm not a guy who waits and hopes the line shifts. As I've gotten older, too, I figured out that buying half points late in the week isn't worth it. So, with that said, let me list the 6 bets that I like for this week. Just understand, some of these lines are stale, they're dated. In other words, I started making these bets as soon as the Sunday games were finished. Understand, you still had 2 games to go on Monday, and you had, of course, line movement. So here are the lines I got. Here are the sides I took. Indianapolis, laying 3.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Right, I think Indy's underrated. I'm a Giants fan. Daniel Jones actually has potential. He's a monumental step up at quarterback for the Colts. The Colts have a defense. Of course, the Colts have a running game. I like the Colts laying 3.5. The Los Angeles Rams getting 4.5. That's the line I got. On the road at Philadelphia. Folks, I know there's a narrative going around on these sports shows that we shouldn't panic when, Jalen Hurts can't pass for 150 yards. And when wide receivers are, getting catches. I believe A.J. Brown had 5 catches this last week, but not getting commensurate yardage. Right? The idea is that Philly played tough teams. They were just in KC, playing KC's defense. And that, Philly's winning, that's all that matters. That's not the way I see it, right? I see a Philly offense that's having problems. I see Saquon Barkley, great back, over 2,000 yards last year, not coming close to 2,000 yards this year, right? I see a Philly team that had some turnover. The Rams, Devontae Adams, I don't know if you noticed, he had over 100 receiving yards last week. You put together Stafford with Adams and Puka Nacua, and you're cooking with gas. I think this might be a special year for the Rams. The biggest concern for the team is Stafford's back. Understand, Stafford's back in its current condition has Devontae Adams giving interviews where he talks about how great it is to play with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. In other words, Adams realizes the talent level. This Ram team, to me, it's for real. Philly not playing up to par. The next game, folks, given a contest between Aaron Rodgers and Drake May, I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers most of the time, right? I believe Mike Vrabel's one of the very best coaches in the game. But he has a young team that didn't make the playoffs last year, like the Steelers did, right? He has a young quarterback who's still figuring things out. Got shut down in the second half of week 1 against the Raiders, for those who recall. I just don't think the Patriots have enough. The Steelers lost last week to an excellent Seattle team. Excellent Seattle defense, I should say. Right? And the bottom line is that the Steelers gave away points in that game. And the market panicked. So I see Steelers minus 1.5 on the road at New England. Unless Tom Brady comes back to play quarterback for the New England Patriots, I like the Steelers laying 1.5 points on the road. The next bet I got, and of course the Maintenance team picks the middle of this video to start their work. We'll just work through it. I'm not a believer in Carolina. Carolina just looks undermanned to me. One of life's mysteries is how they picked their quarterback in a draft ahead of C.J. Stroud. Atlanta on the road is laying 3.5 points at Carolina. I like Atlanta. Atlanta looks real to me. Atlanta's loss was a winnable game where the field goal kicker blows it at the end. I like Atlanta laying 3.5 on the road at Carolina. One of the secrets to this season is that defensive coordinators are going to get revenge against these second-year quarterbacks who beat them up their rookie seasons. One of those quarterbacks is Bo Nix, who's having all kind of problems this year, right? All I can say is I know it was clear last year that Denver made the right move, getting rid of Russell Wilson, going to Bo Nix. That wasn't obvious last week, right? You have Denver at LA. I believe the Chargers are one of the stories of this year. I think the Chargers are going to compete and go deep in the playoffs at a minimum. I like the Chargers at home laying 2.5 points against the Denver Broncos. Let me say, too, Bronco defense is tough. But Justin Herbert in the regular season doesn't throw picks. This is a high-level quarterback. And, of course, there's familiarity. They play in the same division. Finally, I've looked at the Chicago Bears. I can't figure out the hype. Caleb looks terrible this year, right? Now, granted, Caleb, young quarterback. DCs are going to get revenge on him. But understand, it's not working either offensively or defensively in Chicago. I was hearing all this about the Bear defense in the offseason and how this Bear defense was going to be able to compete. And you're looking at their division and you're thinking, wow, the Lions are in this division. Wow, the Packers are in this division. Wow, the Vikings are in this division. I'm expecting a lot of losses for the Bears this year, including this one. I like the Dallas Cowboys getting 1.5. That's the line I got on the road in Chicago. Right? Dallas getting 1.5. Let me say this. Dak has so much to throw to. Quite frankly, I thought that Dallas had a chance to win that Eagle game. Right? The Cowboy offense, to me, is a much better unit than the Bear offense. Now, I'll agree, I can't vouch. I can't vouch for the Cowboy defense. I'm not even going to try. But let's just say I don't see the great defense with the Bears. So I'm taking the Cowboys, getting 1.5 on the road at Chicago. Those are the games I like. Let me hear from you. Tell us the games you like. Don't limit yourself to the games I've picked in the comments section of this YouTube video. Thanks for stopping by.